Welcome back to Ultimate Betrayal, Sweet Revenge. This is it. This is the finale. Not a conclusion at all, but this is where the story cuts off. Leaves us wanting more. In fact, we were left wanting so much more from this story that we fed it into AI Dungeon and had it write us a conclusion. That's what we hoped would happen. It took some wild swings, that AI Dungeon. This was back in 2020, so we didn't have, ChatGPT and all that. But I tacked that onto the end of this episode. You get it all, baby! Fanfic Night at orderoftheleague.com. Send us fan art, fanfic submissions. Send us your comments. Send us your tips on how to make my hair not do dumb things. This is Fanfiction Theater, a celebration of naive writing in all of its foibles, flaws, and unintentional hilarity. I said unintentional right the first time this time, baby. That's how you do an intro.
All right. The video was completed sooner than Ash could have expected, so that evening he made plans to show it the following morning. Right, and this is a video of them making Misty look like a whore, is that right?
Yeah, I don't think they went into too many specifics about this video. But
Okay, but it's something to embarrass Misty, right?
Yeah, some kind of mudslinging video, yeah.
All right. He and Serena also uploaded the video on Pokévision, so it would gain even more viewers. The strategy proved successful, as within 2 hours, it had over 5,000 views.
That's good for Pokévision.
Yeah. Well, is it? I guess we don't know.
Oh, yeah, for Pokévision? Pokévision is, let me put it this way. Have you ever even heard of Pokévision?
I don't live in Pallet Town.
Well, it's real, and so 5,000 people that know about this video and have seen it's pretty good.
Real. Wow, people
I'm
seem
sick
to
of
be
these
into
Pokévision deniers, Really have no more patience for it.
It's like Eurovision. We just the U.S. just isn't part of it. Yeah. Serena remarked as they continued to watch the view count increase. Soon, it had over 1 million views. That's
Good
definitely a lot.
It means the humiliation is going to be successful.
Ash replied.
Hi.
For real?
Yeah.
The humiliation is going to be successful?
It looks like the humiliation is a success.
Speaking of which, I should probably check to see how the others are doing with their part of the job.
All right, we'll see you later.
Drew said, clapping him on the back. Ash left his house and went to find Sapphire and Greninja, who were sneaking out of the competitor's hotel with Jade's bag loaded with photographs. When they saw Ash, they immediately changed course and walked over to him.
Hey, Ash, I think we've finally got enough pictures.
Greninja greeted him.
You wouldn't believe how many embarrassing photos we got of the traitors. They do a lot of stupid things when they think no one's looking.
Yeah, you should see some of Dawn's clothes.
Sapphire added scathingly.
Does she only put them on in private when she thinks no one's looking?
It doesn't matter. It's embarrassing.
They're slippers. They really don't care. No one's
She
gonna care
looks
about
like
that.
she's some sort of prostitute. So they just caught her undressing and took pictures. She looks like a prostitute.
Yeah.
Excellent.
In private.
Great work, both of you.
Ash praised them.
So Pikachu managed to get more of their Pokemon on our side as well, and Serena, Delphox, Drew, and I finished the video.
Greninja and Sapphire smiled with excitement.
I guess that means the revenge is really about to take off, isn't it?
The Frog Ninja Pokemon commented.
It's about time. I can't wait to see the looks on their faces.
Neither can I.
Ash agreed, imagining the look on May's face when she saw their video with a small snicker.
We'll be showing the video tomorrow morning on the large screen in the stadium. For now, though, you can both take a rest. You did a great job.
All right, Ash. We'll see you later.
Greninja replied, waving to the raven-haired man. Oh, that's a drink. Sapphire and Greninja walked back towards their house. Ash, meanwhile, went to find his other daughter, who was hard at work in the Pokémon Center. Several pages of paper were lying on the floor in a small stack. Jade herself was still writing fervently and didn't seem to realize that her father was standing behind her.
Hey, sweetheart, is it coming along well?
You know, that's what I like. We get to see the human side of Ash as well. You know, calling her sweetheart and everything. Ash asked his daughter, causing her to jump slightly. She whirled around, but relaxed when she saw who it was.
Yeah, I'm almost done. I just need to finish this last bit.
Jade replied, continuing to scribble away.
And done.
She declared, dropping her pen onto the table with a sigh of relief. She picked up the stack of papers and handed it to Ash.
Here, tell me what you think.
Ash took the papers and flipped through them slowly, reading word for word what Jade had written. His lips twitched in amusement as he came across phrases such as, the most brilliant failure of a coordinator of all time. Oh, they're doing something about the Fry Festival. And a complete embarrassment to gym leaders everywhere. She had even written a very convincing rumor about Sillin cheating in a Pokemon connoisseur battle. He almost believed her story himself.
Pokemon connoisseur battle. Are they eating Pokemon?
This is perfect. Well done, Jade.
He complimented her. Jade's eyes lit up at the praise.
So is everyone else finished with their part too?
She asked eagerly.
I want to see the traitors get what they deserve as soon as possible.
Ash chuckled at his daughter's excitement.
As a matter of fact, yes.
He replied.
We're going to be showing May's video tomorrow on the large screen in the stadium, so be ready. I'll be sure to publish your article too. Great. See you later, Dad.
Jade called over her shoulder as she ran back towards the house as well. Ash was about to follow her when a small voice stopped him in his tracks.
Excuse me, Ash. Is that you, Ash?
The voice asked timidly.
Assuming this is Tiny Tim or something.
Yes, who wants to?
Space set?
Ash broke off as he turned around and saw Misty's Togekiss and Salon's Sage standing behind him, looking nervous.
Oh, hello there. Is there something I can do for you?
Pansage. Is that the evolved form? This is like sort of a panda.
No. Pansage is a fire monkey.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We want to join you too.
Pansage stammered shyly.
We want to become stronger just like all your Pokemon, and we won't become stronger if Misty and Salon train us. And we want to be your friends.
I don't know what that was.
Togekiss added.
Friends.
Friends. Ash looked at the two Pokemon appraisingly. They seemed to be sincere, so he nodded.
All right.
Perhaps looking them over for a connoisseur battle.
All right. I accept your offer. You can both stay with me from now on.
He said kindly. Togekiss and Pansage looked delighted.
Thank you, Ash.
They cheered happily.
We'll be sure to train really hard for you, we promise.
Ash smiled kindly at them.
I'll be sure you become the strongest you can possibly be,
he said solemnly.
In the meantime, though, we should head to my house and get some sleep. It's going to be a big day tomorrow for your ex-trainers.
The following morning, Ash woke up earlier than usual so he could get everything set up for the humiliation. He logged onto the computer that was connected to the large screen in the stadium and quickly uploaded the video on it. What? This is the video that's already been seen by over 1 million people?
Yeah, kind of
All right.
stole the wind out of your own sails there.
Yeah, once he was done with that, he published 500 copies of Jade's story and left them in the Pokemon Center for everyone to pick up. That's good that he's got a printing press right there. Maybe it's just like Kindles. He's just leaving out 500 Kindles with that on it.
I imagine
Finally,
there's a photocopier in the Pokemon Center, and he just put it in there, hit 500, and walked out. And they're just like kind of spilling out onto the floor.
The big like handmade take one sign.
Yeah.
Finally, Ash took the photos Greninja and Sapphire had taken and made 1,000 copies of those and placed them all in a large basket he would have Charizard drop over the stadium. When he had finished his work, it was almost time for the second day of battling to begin. He rushed outside and took his place next to Serena, Delphox, and Greninja. Pikachu, who had come with Serena, hopped onto Ash's shoulder as soon as he arrived.
Hey, Ash, is everything set up?
Serena asked.
You bet. Any minute now, May will suffer the biggest humiliation of her life.
Ash replied.
I also made sure to make copies of Jade's story and the pictures, too.
Greninja laughed.
I hope you have something good planned for those,
he remarked.
You bet I do,
Ash said with a smirk. Pulling out Charizard's Pokeball, he released his powerful fire type.
All right, Charizard, here's what I need you to do. Once May's video is done playing, fly around with a basket of photos and release them over the stands.
He said unnecessarily. You got it, Ash.
Charizard roared, taking the basket and flying into position. Soon, it was time for the battles to begin.
I hope
Ash and his
I hope Charizard takes fistfuls of the photos out and tosses them rather than just dropping a basket with 1,000 photos on some poor soul's head.
That
Now that's a photo bomb.
Also,
Sorry.
we're on to the second day of battles, but we have one section left, right? Obviously this author was I don't want to write any more goddamn battles, I think.
Brian says these people seem really bored. You know what they need? Video games. Somebody should invent the video game.
Yeah, I mean that's the horror of being. I mean, if for them playing Pokemon would just be like for us playing The Sims, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Though a lot of people like The Sims. So. All right, Ash and his family watched with bated breath as the large screen in the stadium came to life. Below, he could hear the crowd whispering and muttering in confusion, for instead of showing the first two competitors' faces, they were greeted by an image of May Maple and a guy with a paper bag over his head.
I'm not sure I like where this is going. I'm May Maple. Want to have a good time? $5 is all it takes. They're $. Now.
The video May said in a flirtatious tone.
But is it a puppet? Or is this a deep fakes video? I don't know.
I'm assuming it's like a deep fake, yeah.
You look like a Magikarp did it with a Purloin. Have you ever heard of plastic surgery?
The guy's voice, who was obviously Drew, asked.
Come on, how about $2 50 cents? Maybe I'll pay you to show me a good time.
May suggested desperately.
Oh my gosh, she's been
gross.
kidnapped in this video? Is that
I
what's going on?
I don't know.
No thanks. Now get lost before I throw up.
Paper Bag Boy said with a gag. The crowd was laughing their heads off now. Some of them were even catcalling May. Ash grinned at their reaction and shouted to Charizard,
Release the photos!
Charizard took off, sending the pictures flying all over the stands. The laughter grew even louder as people started picking them up and got a good look at them. One of the photographs landed right in Dawn's hands. She took one look at it and covered her face with her hands, her shoulders shaking.
I wonder which one she's looking at.
Serena commented.
I hope it's the one we took of her when her hair made her look like Jolteon.
Greninja said, looking down at Dawn as well.
That's what they are. Is
That's
that
it,
tame? They kidnapped her with a bag over their head, and it's just her with a bad hair day?
Probably is.
Ash said.
Knowing Dawn, a picture of a bad hair day would make her cry for sure.
Yeah, I know, Mavis.
So, okay, so the picture of Dawn is of Dawn, not of May. Maybe multiple people, I guess, because he asked which one did she get.
Yeah, whatever. Let's move on.
Okay. It's sad that it feels like at least up to this point we've known what was going on. You know what I mean? And now it's kind of losing cohesion as the climax nears. It took quite a while to get everyone settled down again. Of course, Ash could have quieted the crowd if he wanted, but he was perfectly content to sit back and let everything play out. At least it meant more entertainment. Finally, 15 minutes later, the crowd was calm enough for the ref to begin the match.
All right. Now that that's settled.
The ref said with a small chuckle. He had received a picture as well.
Trainers, please send out your Pokémon.
That's the beginning of the match, I guess.
Right.
All right. 16.
Dun, 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 dun. Right.
All right. This is the final chapter, right?
It's close. Yeah, this is the last one.
The first match of the second round of the Silverhood League was between none other than the McKinley siblings. Ash knew that he should remain neutral, but he couldn't help wanting to root for Evelyn. She seemed like a nicer person than her brother, at least from the impression he'd gotten of her. I mean, yeah, that's okay. That's what third person limited does. You don't have to. Anyway, sorry. Just pet peeve.
The second round match between Evelyn and Tyler will now begin.
Wow, he's just paddling. This is just dog paddling over and over again. He keeps the author keeps going between like saying something and then saying it, you know?
Yeah.
The ref announced.
Each trainer will have the use of 3 Pokémon. The battle will end when one side's Pokémon are unable to continue. Trainers, please bring out your Pokémon.
Tyler made the first selection.
Dragonite, let's go.
He shouted, throwing his first Pokeball. A large yellow-golden dragon Pokemon materialized on the battlefield, letting out a roar as his feet hit the ground.
I wonder what Pokemon Evelyn's going to counter with,
Pikachu said, looking at the young girl.
Bisharp, come on out.
I never know if it's Bisharp or Bisharp. Like, is he supposed to be?
I think it's Bisharp because he's a bishop. That's the pun.
I was gonna say, can he marry you? Like, is that? It's like he can marry you or he can cut you. It'll go either way.
Exactly. Bisharp, come on out.
Although if he's Bisharp, that leaves some other possibilities. Evelyn called, tossing her own Pokeball. He cuts both ways, if you know what I mean. Anyway, the dual Dark and Steel type took its place on the battlefield across from Dragonite. Ash could tell that Evelyn's Bisharp was female, which surprised him, since female Bisharps were hard to come by. The Catholic Church won't raise anyone to a Bisharp.
What voice to give to a Bisharp? Finally letting me start, I see.
But we won't let you finish. Again, that's Catholic Church's position, not... Anyway, Bisharp remarked humorously to her trainer. Ash, Serena, and Pikachu... Ash, Serena, and Pikachu laughed at that. She sounded like Pikachu whenever he had to wait a long time for Ash to use him as his first Pokemon in a battle.
I forgot they established the gender of the Pokemon. Whatever.
Ready? Battle begin!
The ref commanded.
Dragonite, use flamethrower.
Tyler shouted after Evelyn remained silent.
He had to wait. Look, I thought she was going to say something, but no, all right. Bisharp, dodge and use Iron Head.
Evelyn countered quickly. Ash could tell that both Pokemon had been raised well, but the first attack went to Bisharp. The night Pokemon expertly dodged the jet of flames and struck Dragonite head-on with Ironhead. Dragonite reared back in apparent terror and cowered away from Bisharp, shocking most of the crowd. Ash, however, knew exactly what was happening. He had seen it once before, after all, when Paul had battled Brandon at the Battle Pyramid.
He flinched!
Delphox exclaimed. Greninja nodded.
So now Evelyn can make another move if she wants.
The Frog Ninja Pokemon replied. To their surprise, however, Evelyn neglected to attack again.
Bisharp, sword stance.
The younger McKinley sibling ordered. Bisharp glowed briefly as her attack power increased.
Now, sword dance again.
Bisharp's attack power was increased once more, just in time for Dragonite to regain the ability to battle properly. Ash and his family took one look at Tyler and knew that he was starting to get frustrated. His legs were shaking and his fists were being clenched tightly. By whom?
Yeah, they were being clenched. He's going to lose it soon.
Serena whispered, her eyes fixed on the teenage boy.
Dragonite, use Hyper Beam and end this!
Tyler shouted angrily. Dragonite looked at his trainer, but didn't make any attempt to charge up the commanded attack.
Now! Do it now, damn you!
That's very Transformers the movie there. The dragon type continued to look at Tyler as though he were something that had been left on the side of the road. Finally, however, he finally started to summon the energy for the Hyper Beam.
Finally.
And promptly fired the attack towards the sky, meaning it completely missed Bisharp. Ash had a sneaking suspicion Dragonite had done that on purpose. Ash is like fucking Sherlock Holmes, man.
Well, that went well.
Greninja remarked sarcastically, though he was smiling.
Tyler, maybe you shouldn't curse at your Pokemon.
Evelyn said calmly.
For now, though, I'm going to show you my favorite finishing move. Bisharp, use Guillotine.
So Dragonite's like, no, I won't do it, and then Bisharp cuts his head off. Ash was impressed with the choice of attack. Normally, Guillotine wasn't a particularly accurate move, but since Dragonite was temporarily unable to move, its accuracy was sure to increase. There was nothing Tyler could do as his Pokemon...
Works, but go ahead.
There was nothing Tyler could do as his Pokemon was struck with the automatic one-hit knockout move and got private points?
Tyler got private points?
I have
no idea.
Oh,
Also,
I must excuse myself. I have private points.
Also, why? Ryan's asking, what did he guillotine off? Also, why use Sword Stance, which increases attack power if you're going to use a one-hit KO move? I mean,
maybe Dragonite's private points were. Maybe that's what got cut off, and they fell into Tyler's hands.
Dragonite is unable to battle. This round goes to Bisharp and Evelyn.
The ref declared.
Yes, great job, Bisharp.
Evelyn cheered. Bisharp turned and raised a bladed hand in triumph.
All right, now take a rest. I might need you again a bit later.
Tyler recalled his fainted Dragonite with a scowl.
I remember him.
Dragonite, return!
He said coldly. Ash saw him glare at Dragonite's Pokeball before he shoved it back in his pocket.
Do you tell fainted Pokemon to return, or do you just suck them back? It doesn't seem like
scoop them up.
I guess it depends on whether you're a good trainer or a bad trainer.
Wow, that was impressive.
Serena remarked.
She must have known that if Hyper Beam missed, Dragonite would be wide open.
Yep, and then Bisharp's Guillotine did the rest.
Ash finished.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah.
After all, a low accuracy attack like Guillotine is best when used against an opponent who can't dodge.
Greninja added, sounding a bit impressed as well. But also unnecessary. Meanwhile, down on the battlefield, Evelyn had called out her Espeon to go up against Tyler's Glaceon. As they watched, Evelyn called for a Psybeam for her first attack. Glaceon couldn't dodge in time and was struck by the Psybeam, confusing the Ice-type Evolution.
Evolution.
Okay, got it. Evolution.
Glaceon, no! Snap out of it!
Tyler yelled, panicking. Unfortunately, his words didn't seem to reach Glaceon, who continued to stumble about as though drunk.
Keep up the pressure with quick attack,
Evelyn ordered.
Ryan says, isn't this all as you know type talk for fans of Pokemon? Yeah, except for where he's getting it wrong. So, but yeah,
as you know, Pikachu is 17 stories tall.
This is easy.
Espeon laughed as she charged towards Glaceon, slamming into the still confused Ice Fox. I don't know the Pokemon, and so, like, some of these descriptions I'm enjoying. Quick Attack sent Glaceon flying into the air, where he landed with a sickening thud a few feet away. He looked to be in pain. However, he finally managed to snap out of his confusion.
Finally? Now, Glaceon, use Ice Fang.
Tyler shouted. Glaceon charged towards Espeon, his fangs glowing whitish blue.
That won't work,
Evelyn called over to her brother.
Espeon, dodge and use Psychic.
Much to everyone's surprise, Ice Fang managed to make contact. However, Espeon quickly recovered and lifted Glaceon into the air with Psychic. Ash couldn't help but laugh at the sight of the Ice-type Fox Pokemon attempting in vain to break free of the Psychic hold. Espeon, meanwhile, kept lifting the hapless Glaceon higher and higher into the air.
Now, stop with Psychic and drop Glaceon.
Also, I guess I was totally wrong about, like, this author getting tired of writing the fights, so...
Yeah. I mean,
Evelyn
honestly,
shouted.
This is the most exciting one yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense, right? As we get further along.
Yeah.
Evelyn shouted.
Drop him.
Pikachu repeated, looking puzzled.
What for?
Judging by how high Espeon lifted Glaceon, I am assuming Evelyn's hoping the fall will stun Glaceon long enough for her to finish him off.
Delphox said musingly.
That was my musing voice.
She's pretty clever if I do say so myself.
Sure enough, when Glaceon hit the ground again, he was too winded to get back up immediately. Evelyn took advantage of this opportunity and ordered Espeon to use Tackle. The psychic Evolution charged towards Glaceon, slamming hard into the Icy Fox Pokemon. Glaceon fell back, unconscious, with Espeon standing victoriously over him.
Glaceon is unable to battle. Espeon is the winner,
The ref declared, raising his flag towards Evelyn.
Okay, so we wrapped up Ultimate Betrayal, Sweet Revenge. And
Sort of.
well, yeah, we
It ended.
yeah.
We weren't ready.
It stopped. We flew out the windshield.
That kid who was writing it finally killed his parents. And that was the end of it.
So Intrepid Olivia suggested that we use one of those AI bots to write a new ending.
Like, I guess you can, like, give it characters or whatever and, like, backstories, things like that. And
Yeah. I was just curious what this first one is the only one that has a title.
I don't know. I know that each attempt was, she was like, I'm going to put in more information. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, well, let's try this one on for size.
1 month later.
All right, you're all done. Dawn should be coming soon, so try not to attract her attention.
Ash gave his final orders to his subordinates. Now that their plan was ready, they just had one more person to get rid of. The voice of the person in charge of the Rotten Vale group came on.
We're ready, sir.
She said respectfully.
We're ready, sir.
She said respectfully.
All right. Make sure you aren't seen leaving the body. I'll inform you when to attack.
He told her.
Got it, sir.
She replied.
Good luck.
He told her. Ash hung up and headed to another room in the stadium to wait. He didn't have to wait long as he saw Dawn enter the room with a body slung over her shoulder.
The end.
Number 2 has haunted me for like the past week or so since this was done.
Yeah.
And I have already started to write more on it in my head.
Good.
I also find it weird that with both the first attempt and the second attempt, an amount of time passes. Like, I don't know how the hell to deal with that. Like let's put some space here. Okay, so 1 year passed. As the members of the Shadow Pokemon Corps stood in formation on the fields outside the stadium, they were met by a man in a smart suit and tie. He wore dark Ray-Bans and had long black hair and a ponytail. This man was the leader of the mysterious organization known as the Necromancers. He was none other than Mr. Johnson.
Oh my God.
All right, look lively.
Mr. Johnson barked.
Let's finish this once and for all.
The Shadow Pokemon Corps obeyed and began marching towards the stadium. Mr. Johnson marched alongside them.
Well, this is a pretty quiet bunch.
He noted.
You don't think they're plotting anything, do you?
Of course they are.
A member of the Necromancer said.
Just like all teenagers are at their core. Still, I suppose you're right. They're a bit quiet for plotting anything too overt.
They're marching towards the stadium. Are they expecting to hear something from the stadium?
Well, so I know that in my mind, the way that I started to write it is that inside the stadium they meet the rest of their team.
Okay.
But it's like I don't know. I love this one because it's like, why does it become obsessed with Mr. Johnson? Why does it throw in this Necromancers? They were never called the Shadow Pokemon Corps, right? So it's completely made its own. Like it wants to be sort of a. Oh man, I don't know. I feel like Vamp Lycans have to show up at some point,
Right. And are they the Shadow Pokemon Corps or are they the Necromancers?
Well, I think the Necromancers funded the Shadow Pokemon Corps, or the Shadow Pokemon Corps is like the name that Ash gave his group of people going against the Betrayers, and now they've had to. I mean, a year has passed. So much must have happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have answers to all of this, but they would take a lot of time to expound upon.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if the body is still there, just like rotting, and you kind of dropped a thread here.
These are not supposed to like be in order. They're like 3 separate attempts at finishing the story, but that's a good headcanon. Just 1 month later, Dawn comes in with a body, dumps it on the floor. A year passes. And now maybe the Necromancers are going to resurrect it or something.
But yeah, Necromancer seems pretty intense out of nowhere. I don't know. It just there's so much I love about this because it really is just a completely different story. Like Ash doesn't get a line.
Yep. Okay, we're back to Ash in the third attempt, though.
So, are you ready to go, Paul?
Ash looked at his former friend expectantly. The two were currently in a secluded part of the forest. No one else would be able to find them, and even if they could, they wouldn't be able to hear what was going to happen.
As ready as I'll ever be.
The redhead replied nervously. Ash nodded.
Good enough for me.
With that, the two began their first battle together in 11 years. The first few seconds were simultaneously awkward and full of tension. They looked at each other, sizing the other one up, trying to determine if it was a trap or if they were as ready as they claimed. Just when it seemed like they were going to go through with it and fight, someone from behind Ash stabbed him in the back with a dagger.
Was it an acronym, sir? What? Why is this AI so dark?
Mr. Johnson, why?
Did the AI just break up with its boyfriend or something?
Oh God.
To say judgments about the author that I did, and then just thought this is where it's going.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe we'll come back to that and try to hammer it out.